So welcome to today's Greater Life CoffeeCast, and with today being the pillar of health, my invitation today is to take the reset. What do I mean? Well, over the weekend, as you may have uncovered if you've read today's newsletter article, I became profoundly dysregulated. And what I recognise, courtesy of the benefit of taking a reset, is that there were a number of factors that played out, like a number of cascading effects that caused this. The first was actually, I've not been drinking much coffee, and I drank some coffee, and my system, like the amount of adrenaline in my system already began responding as if something was wrong, even though it wasn't. I see that now. And so I had a base layer of agitation courtesy of the coffee. And I then had put myself in a couple of situations that kind of stirred up what I know to be kind of some epigenetic trauma stuff that I'm working through. And there were also some external factors that were poking on echoes of past traumatic experiences. And when I step back and look at all of those, I can see, of course, I'd have become dysregulated and should probably have taken some action sooner. But as it was, in the maelstrom of it all, I was simply there going, oh my gosh, like, why do I feel so anxious, so dysregulated, so like activated, and yet also so kind of paralyzed? And the opportunity arose to actually drive to Bristol, which is 3.5 hours from where I am. And I thought, well, it's the last thing I want to do. Why do I have this hunch that I need to do it? And as the day went on, I became more dysregulated and more certain that, actually driving to Bristol would be the right thing. And it transpired that the benefit of the 3.5 hour drive and the opportunity to listen to an audio book that was just super, super helpful in terms of being grounding and allowing myself to flood my system with states that were counter to what I'd been experiencing was exactly what I needed. And I think part of particularly in the West, but definitely in the UK, in Britain, we've got this kind of stiff upper lip, just keep going. And that's really valuable at times. And yet to recognize when we are floundering, and if we keep trying to swim, we might drown, right? It's absolutely vital. And in this instance, for me, had I not been gifted this opportunity of a reset via the drive to Bristol, it's hard to say, but I think I might have really suffered. I might have headed into some longer term burnout, or I would have certainly been far less effective in the week to come. And so I share that in the hope that you may take on board the awareness, the understanding, the appreciation that sometimes we do just need a reset. We do just need to hit pause. And if we think about it like a computer, there are times when we do just need to hit ctrl-alt-delete and just give the system a reboot. And as I speak, that metaphor is really useful. Because, I remember particularly having a Mac computer. Quite often I would just leave it in sleep mode for days on end, and would then wonder why it wasn't like running as effectively as it could. And it's because I've literally been leaving it basically on, but just on a low level of on. And for your system, for my system, if I don't actually allow it to fully shut down and reboot, then there's no way I can expect optimal performance. And so obviously the science these days on sleep and things like that is absolutely cut and dried. And I take it as one of the great gifts I've developed is to be able to have, midday naps, just 20, 30 minutes where I really can just allow my system to switch off. So that is my hope, that from today and from me sharing my story of just how needed it was for me to have that reset. And for some people, it might be going out for a walk. It might be vigorous exercise. For me, on this occasion, it happened to be, a 3.5 hour drive to Bristol, right? But what ways can you consciously cultivate the capacity or the ability to reset your system? Because your ability to perform, whatever that means to you, to show up with presence in your relationships, to make critical decisions in a better way, to think more clearly, to feel more contented and joyful, all of these at times will come on the other side of a reset. So today, going forward, how are you? How is your system? If you allow yourself to check in and tune into your body, how is it? Is it actually crying out for a reset, a reboot, some time? Or are you good to go? And either of those answers is fantastic, and both will require different actions. And my hope today, following this CoffeeCast, is that whatever that action is for you, you feel inspired to take it, and take it now. Okay.